Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Greenland and ice and sea levels and how some things are just inevitable. They are going to occur no matter what actions we take. Because there's a really interesting study, and it had a cool name in the concept, so it's gotten a lot of attention. And it's about ice that is in Greenland that is basically cut off from the process that keeps it ice. Even though right now it's still ice, there's more than 100 trillion tons of ice that won't stay ice. And this is what they are calling zombie ice. This study was designed to provide a conservative estimate of how much sea level rise we will see just from the ice in Greenland. And the answer is 10 inches. 10 inches, no matter what. No matter what actions are taken right now today, no matter how we cut our emissions right now, we're going to see this. Now, there's no timeline for it, but this is going to definitely occur. And the reason it's going to occur is because this area has risen in average temperature, I want to say 1.5 degrees per decade for like the last 40 years. This has already been set in motion. And when you look at it and you compare it to NOAA's estimate, as an example, NOAA is saying 10 to 12 inches over the next 30 years. We're going to see it. It's going to occur. Now, one thing that is really important when it comes to talking about sea level rise is understanding that 10 inches doesn't mean 10 inches. You can't walk out to the coast where you're at and say, okay, in 30 years, it'll be a foot higher than this, because it's not how it works. In some areas, if it goes up by a foot, well, at 6 inches, it's cresting over into a new area that opens up a wider area that will be flooded. So that area may become much wider. It may become a bay. And somewhere on the other side of the world, you may even see water levels recede. Now, one thing that's important to note about this study is that it's new. There hasn't been a lot of debate about it. But that's not why I'm bringing it up. The exact prediction of 10 inches no matter what, that's going to be debated, no doubt. But the reason I think this is notable is because it's talking about the inevitability of some of this. Because, we hear stop climate change, avoid climate change. That's not happening anymore. We are past that point. We're at mitigate climate change. We're trying to lessen the effects, not avoid it altogether, because that's not possible anymore. And the longer we wait, the more effects are going to be locked in. The more effects are going to become inevitable, because this stuff doesn't happen immediately. It takes time for the effects to become apparent. And that's one of the reasons I think that this is important to note. This study is important to note, and studies in a similar fashion, because it's talking about stuff that we can see it. We see that train coming, but we also know it doesn't have any brakes. This ice is still there at the moment, but it is going to melt. And it is going to raise our sea levels. That's what makes this notable. And I think that if more research is conducted in this fashion, there are more studies, and those studies and that research gets publicity, we might be able to encourage more people to join the fight to mitigate it. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.